freedom trap. So if you want to get freedom, don't go near Scientology. It's a very dangerous organization. And I suggest that you recognize the fact that in 20 years, all they have to show is a dilapidated building. They've gone from 3 floors to 1. Their founder, who came here in 1956, got kicked out by the cops after a weekend spent here in Ireland. So what I'm suggesting to you is please keep your freedom, keep away from the church. It's not really a church, because a church indicates some kind of idea of reverence. You don't need to have reverence, because there is no reverence. It's a man called L Ron Hubbard, who was a complete fake. He made up most of his life story. In fact, he lived more lives than would normally be lived by about 10 people, but he had to make it up because he lived in reincarnation. So what we're saying to you is, remember Mary Johnson, a very nice young lady who in 2003 took a case against the Church of Scientology. They removed her freedom. They gave out personal information which had been given in confidence in the court case. That's how low they would stoop. And so this gentleman here who runs it, Mr. Jared Ryan, who always smiles out from the window, which is interesting because he then calls the cops and asks them to bring the riot gear here, because we're going to be such a danger that they even have a security man inside the building, which is interesting. What's the point of having him inside the building when he's supposed to be guarding the door to the building? That's a very good use of your money, wouldn't you think? And especially your donations as a Scientology member. The other thing that they're now doing is putting books in your library. So they go in and ask the librarian, can I get such and such a book? They've now got hundreds of libraries throughout this country where some poor sucker has to pay 265 pounds of money into the library fund as the poor person, and then the library usually looks at them for a few days and then tries to find a place to hide them until the next Scientologist comes and asks, where's my book? And so recognize a cult when you see it. A cult that has a cult of greed, as Time magazine put it out. It also uses people like Tom Cruise to be the personality front for a criminal conspiracy. It's not a religion. It doesn't have the marks of a religion. And in fact, in this country, it hasn't attached itself. After 20 years, it still has not obtained charitable status. Scientology does not have charitable status in this country for the obvious reason: it does not further religion, it does not further education, it does not further the relief of poverty. In fact, it creates poverty, it removes your educational means of thinking, and it also has nothing to do with religion. It uses religion as a quick way to make a buck. And so we advise you quite sincerely to look at any alternative, but do not look at Scientology as a religion, because it ain't a religion. It doesn't walk like a duck, it doesn't quack like a duck, therefore it's unlikely to be a duck. The only thing it has that it does is make a buck like a duck. And that's all we can say. But all I'd say to you is keep your head and keep your mind free. The only thing that you've got to lose, you can lose 20 grand, you can lose 30 grand, but if you lose your mind, I'm afraid you can't get it back. It's extremely difficult once you've entered into any group like this one to get your mind back to functioning in a normal sense of the word. Just to give an example, the founder of this group came to Ireland, but he also came to my birth country, South Africa, where he supported the Nationalist Party of South Africa came to power in 1948. He also then went on to Rhodesia, where he was kicked out of the country. He was kicked out of Ireland also in 1956. I met the family of the B&B where he stayed in Ballsbridge, and they told me that he was picked up by the guards. They didn't regard him as being a good asset to the country, and he was asked to leave. So thank you very much, everybody, and I hope that you have a good Scientology-less day. And remember what the Irish Times quite clearly pointed out last week, that 99% of us regard it as a dangerous cult. A dangerous cult. Yeah.